Hi, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this special CGTN live stream. We are in Shanghai at the Bund, which is an iconic landmark in Shanghai. And I just had my morning coffee. As you can see from my surroundings, this is a recreational vehicle, also a mobile cafe. And this vehicle has been taking us around Shanghai for the past 4 days during the ongoing China International Import Expo. Well, this expo is an annual grand event for businesses from all around the world to showcase their best products and services to Chinese customers. And this event really is a showcase of China's continued opening up of its market. And the reason why we're driving around Shanghai is that Shanghai actually is one of the oldest portals in China that were opened to foreign trade. So this city is a reflection of China's history of opening up and embracing the world. And today we are just going to make a turn right now to the left, and then we'll be arriving at the Bund. Yes, you're right, the iconic Bund in Shanghai. So if we can cut you through a picture from outside the window, you can see it's a beautiful sunny morning with crisp air. It's a little bit chilly. We had some rainstorm the day before yesterday. The temperature has dropped, but this morning absolutely the sky is very, very clear, and we're seeing some traffic because this is still the morning rush hour. But let me give you a tease about where I will be taking you today. So I will have 3 or 4 guests with me today, and I take you to some of the best places, some of the must-sees and must-goes in the city. And our first stop will be the Fairmont Peace Hotel, the very famous building. It was known for a long time, about 70, 80 years ago, known as the #1 mansion in the Far East because of the building's grand architecture style, of its luxurious inside and outside decorations, and of course of its landmark significance to the history of Shanghai. And then after that, I have some new guests and new friends coming on board. We will be taking you to the very busy CIIE market, which is a special place that's set up during this year's CIIE. It will be located in the center of Shanghai's busiest commercial street. So I'll be taking you there to check out what is to buy, what is exciting to see, what are the things that you cannot miss in that bazaar. And after that, we'll be taking you back down his history line, the memorial line, to see the temple of the god of the city in Shanghai, which is called the Chunhuang Temple. And right there, it's close to the Jade Garden, the very famous Jade Garden in Shanghai. And right there, we'll be taking you to one of the best snack shop of dim sum restaurant in Shanghai. It has about 100 years history. It has provided its food for various national leaders that have visited Shanghai in the past. So we will be checking out their latest products and food and some of the traditional dim sum in Shanghai that have been the favorites of all the tourists that come along. So as you can see, we are now very soon will be arriving at the heart of the Bund, that is at the center area of the Bund. The Bund of Shanghai has a history of over several centuries though, but when it was named as the Bund, it was about 1.5 centuries ago when we can see buildings started to be built along this area. It became one of the busiest commercial areas in Shanghai. That was during a special time of history when foreign businessmen came to Shanghai and they built buildings of their own country's style, which is why on the Bund you can see buildings of French style, of British style, of other European, building architecture styles. And what is interesting is although those buildings are built by different architectures at different times of age, because they keep adding on buildings and keep renovating them as time went by. However, you will find it amazing that all those buildings, they somehow stand together and looks incredibly aligned with each other, which means none of the building would stand out as something that's bizarre, and they just look perfectly fit together as a cluster of great architecture in Shanghai. So when we hop When we hop off this vehicle later on, I will ask our cameraman to give you a clear shot of all those buildings, and I can actually point out to some of those landmark buildings for you and tell you what are they used for today and a bit of their history. But the Fairmont Peace Hotel that we'll be visiting actually sits at the center of this Bund area. It is an iconic building that was built back in 1929. I think it was in September or sometime. It was by one of the richest men, a British businessman. He was one of the richest men back then in the world, and he started to build a grand architecture and used it as a hotel. So later on down history, after the founding of the People's Republic of China, this hotel became to be open to the public. So that is why today in Shanghai, ordinary Shanghai citizens, people can also just come along on weekends, enjoy the cafe shops, the balconies, the views of the Peace Hotel. So the Peace Hotel is a part of the Shanghai history. It actually is a living museum. I will be taking you inside the building. We will get a very nice full tour of the building, learn about its history and some of the greatest Chinese movies that have been shot in the building. Somewhere in the building, we'll be checking out those very interesting scenes. And then there's a very nice little museum in the Peace Hotel as well. So we'll be checking that out to see some of the old photos and old ornaments there. And I can see we are almost there. We are arriving. Great. So follow me, guys. I leave my coffee here, so follow me. Wow, it's a beautiful day. How nice, it's sunshine. We had some rain, as I said, yesterday, and today is just very nice. I feel so warm with the sunshine and everything. And right next to me is the Bank of China building, which is also one of the iconic landmarks in Shanghai. It is also now remarked as a cultural heritage of the city of Shanghai, so it's very well being protected. And we're gonna walk a few blocks and we'll soon be arriving. So if we can get a view, you can actually see right in front of me on the rooftop, the Peace Hotel's iconic green rooftop is right in front of us. We will get you a clear view later on when our cameraman gets in position. And right behind me, you can see this is the Bank of China, and then the ICBC, which is the Commercial Bank of China, the Industrial Commercial Bank of China. So the Bund has a history of being the financial center of Shanghai when those banks, big banks, the lenders, including foreign lenders like HSBC, used to set up their headquarters in this area. And today, some of those buildings have been reused as either government offices or commercial use, or they stay like the Peace Hotel. It stays as a commercial hotel today. If we are getting a shot of across the Huangpu River, you will see an interesting scene, because on the Bund, on the west side of the Bund, what you see is history. On the east side of the Bund, however, right across the river, what you can see is today's Shanghai. So that's the Lujiazui financial area that you just saw with all those skyscrapers, the high rises, and also the Oriental Pearl Tower that looks really nice. And when our cameraman slowly tilts back to the Bund, the west side, you can see it is all history. And then the building with the big bell in Shanghai, we also have a big bell in Shanghai. That's the Shanghai Customs building. And I'm now turning to my right and walking onto the very famous Nanjing Road. Nanjing Road is a very famous commercial street in China, in Shanghai, or in China as well. If you're a visitor, you come to visit Shanghai for sure, you will be visiting this street. You can see very nice shops. Some of them are located in these century-old buildings, but also you can see new buildings, modern architectures, writing. So it's a very interesting mix of culture and present. And we'll be arriving, as you can see, right next to me. This actually is the Fairmont Peace Hotel. I will take you to the main entrance of the hotel. And Right next to me, this is the Victor's. Yeah, the Victor's. It's a very nice cafe at the Peace Hotel of Shanghai. A great place. We can see some citizens having their brunch there right now. I used to come here with my girlfriends and have a nice afternoon tea. It's absolute an oasis inside there. They provide great food. This cafe also has a history of over 1 century. All right, we are arriving at the main entrance of the Fairmont Peace Hotel. Let's check it out. Let me tell you, once you walk on those stairs, you look up and you see the view. That really reflects the grandeur of this building and the architecture. 您好，您好. Thank you. Now, come in with me. 您好. Yeah. Thank you. Hi. Hi, George. Nice meeting you.
You brought the good weather.
Yes, I brought. I brought the sunshine. I guess. Yeah.
Fantastic.
Yeah, George. Would you like to introduce yourself to?
Yes,
the
I'm
audience?
George Wee. I'm the general manager of this truly iconic, beautiful heritage hotel called the Fairmont Peace, and I'm delighted to have you all here. And you brought everything good.
Yeah, I'm very excited. Would you mind holding the microphone for a second? So I need to take off my coat and enjoy the very good service of the Peace Hotel. Thank you so much. So, yes, you can
I
see,
love
George.
this cheongsam.
Thank you, thank you. I'm
Fantastic.
all dressed up. I'm wearing a cheap house style dress, especially for this tour because I know the Peace Hotel has a great history, a lot of story to tell. This is a legacy, basically a legendary building. So I think this actually fits for what we're going to be talking about today,
Absolutely.
right?
Let's come on.
Let's go. Let's go.
Well, we are right here in the awesome space, our Art Deco atrium lobby. I mean, just look at how stunning it is.
It is.
And
wow.
today it's 92 years old. So the original founder was Sir Victor Sassoon, one of the richest guys in the world. And when this hotel opened 92 years ago, it was the most luxurious, most modern hotel. This was the place to be seen, the place to come for parties and celebrations. And even today, it captures that spirit. It's still the most iconic, most fashionable hotel right on the Bund, right on Nanjing Road.
No doubt, no doubt. I mean, this still is one of the most luxurious and fashionable hotel. So, George, tell me about the paintings on the walls.
Isn't that lovely? These 4 silver murals, they actually take you back to the journey of the good old days when this hotel was built. That's a 1929, 1930 shot. You can see the tram. In these old days in Shanghai, we have the tram as part of transportation. And you can see our iconic building. Look at that. Copper rooftop there.
That's the rooftop. Yeah, if we tilt on, that's the rooftop. That's the green rooftop that everyone can see when they get at the first glance on the Bund.
In 1929, the best way to get to Shanghai was by the Huangpu River. So when those sea merchants came, when they finally arrived in Shanghai, how did they know? That roof.
Wow.
That's the most iconic landmark, right?
Yes.
And when they saw that roof, they said, God, I'm in Shanghai. Let's relax and have a good time, because it was a truly buzzing place in those days. Like I said, the rich, the famous, the who's who were here, because Victor Sassoon was such a well-connected guy, and he loved the good life, and he's so rich. So, you know, movie stars, they all were frequenting this place all the time.
Yes. And what about this beautiful dove? It's been here for 2 to 3 years, right?
I'm going to come to that in a minute, because I'm so excited. You see that other mural over
painting.
there?
Okay,
Yeah,
let's go.
That's
Let's check out the other painting first, because George must have some great stories to tell us.
Yeah, that's also a mural of the early 1930s. You see those magnificent vintage cars? Well, they're vintage to me now. They were worth 700 pounds in those days, silver pounds. But guess what? A Rolex watch was worth 550. And the first Rolex watch was sold in an arcade just behind this mural.
Wow.
In 1931, first Rolex watch for 550, and the car was worth 700. So that just gives you a bit of a comparison. Why was the Rolex watch bought here? This was the luxury retail shopping arcade.
Okay.
So all the rich people come here and really do their fantastic shopping.
Oh,
so
that's
that's
great.
another slice of the
Well,
story.
it still is today,
It
right?
is, right? And now coming back to the Dove.
Yeah.
You know, when this hotel first opened, we had a La Ligue art piece, glass piece here. Our owners felt that we should really depict it now with a beautiful white dove. After all, that's what the piece is all about.
Yes.
Because this hotel started as the Cathay Hotel over the years after the Japanese occupation. When the Chinese government took over, they renamed it as the Peace Hotel. Why was that? In 1952, there was this first symposium on world peace in Beijing. 30 countries took part.
Wow.
Government was so proud. It was such a huge success. They want to commemorate that. So they renamed this Cathay Hotel the Peace Hotel. So I think it's a fantastic testimony to the Chinese masterpiece of artwork, which is the Liu Li, versus the La Ligue, going back to 92 years ago.
Yes.
I think that's a great fit.
Yeah,
But just look at how stunning it is.
it is.
Every time people come into this lobby, they just stood here in silence for the first few seconds.
It is. It is quite breathtaking. This is my
Absolutely
this is my
breathtaking.
second time inside this lobby, and I still, it just took my breath away for
I know.
a split of second.
Look at how stunning Art Deco detailing from floor to ceiling.
Yes.
We're so proud, to as a hotelier, working here. I mean, my God, this is on your bucket list.
And
right?
it's so well preserved.
Absolutely. Well, we have to make sure it's well preserved. So when the Fairmont came into the picture, the Xinjiang owners wanted very much to have a group like the Fairmont look after that, because we have to totally restore it over a period of 3 years. And the biggest challenge for the restoration for the 3 years was to strike a difference between, strike a balance between timelessness and modernity. You must preserve what is timeless.
So some would say that you use old materials to,
We
work
so
on
hard
those.
to make sure it reflects its original.
Okay.
It must be authentic,
Yes.
and that's our duty. And now that we are managing it, I feel so honored and so humble, because it's my duty, our duty as a team, to be a custodian of this iconic property, because the Peace Hotel is all about being Chinese and Shanghainese.
Yeah.
And we have a duty to showcase this to every Shanghainese, every Chinese who come on the Bund, because we're right in the middle
Yes.
of Bund and on Nanjing Road.
Yeah.
And we wanted to help tell the story and help educate them about this rich history and the storied past. Now we're coming to the must see.
Yeah, as you were saying that you will try to preserve the old, the authentic pieces, and also try to make this hotel more connected with the local Shanghai,
Absolutely.
Shanghainese. This is a great example, I
Oh
think.
my God. The old jazz band, we just love them. These are 6 Shanghainese guys. Average age is 82, makes you and me feel really young, right? And they play every night. And they are really literally part and parcel of what Shanghai history and culture is all about. And I know your viewers eventually will see the old jazz band play. And when they, when you're in the jazz bar, they just take you back to the 30s and 40s of old Shanghai. Now that's the experience, that's the lifestyle that every traveler, every Chinese, every foreigner wants to capture when they come to the Peace Hotel.
Yeah, and here I see is the Guinness
They-
World Records.
in
They were
Guinness
the
Book of
oldest.
Records. They were recognized as the best bar in the world by Newsweek magazine.
Which year was that one?
That was in 1985.
Wow, so it was back then,
Back then, yeah.
76-year-old average. Right now you were saying that's
82 on average.
82 on average.
Yeah, but in those days, the band actually started playing in 1980.
Now,
And there's even a movie about them. Hey,
a documentary movie.
it's a
Yeah, I think I've seen
documentary
it. As
movie
time
called
goes
As Time
by.
Goes By.
Let's give a shot of that poster specifically.
Now, isn't that apt? Because it tells the story of the 6 Shanghainese guys who play in our famous Peace Hotel jazz band, documenting their lives, the struggles, the challenges over the years to be a jazz musician. And I think it's such a cool thing. And it was actually shown in the Rotterdam Jazz Festival. They went there to do the shooting. And the whole film documentary was premiered in the Toronto and the Shanghai Film Festival 2013. So absolutely, we're very proud. I think we're the only hotel with a full-fledged movie about a jazz band. I mean, this is truly
This is absolutely
amazing,
unique.
right?
This is where I'm going to give an audience a tease, actually. So at the end of this live show at the Peace Hotel, we will show you a video to give you a taste of this old jazz band, the great music they play, the great atmosphere. So you have to stay tuned. You have to stay tuned. As George says, this is a must-see.
You know, all the celebrities, all the famous people, they want to spend some time in there to capture the spirit of old Shanghai.
See, and we bring this to your table, to your screen. You have to stay tuned.
You're able to show the table that President Obama was sitting in and President Trudeau was sitting in a few years ago.
Wow.
And they're just a glimpse of a few special people that were here to see the old jazz band play.
Okay, so which way do we go now?
Let's go that way.
It's such a grand lobby. It has so many entrances, and I sometimes get lost in here. And everything is so beautiful.
You can just stand here forever. I just love it. Every morning I come to work, I feel so blessed to be working into a space like this. I mean, my goodness, it's a godsend.
I really envy you. You know what? You wake up and go to work too.
Good to be happy with what you're doing. So we got a great team working here.
Yeah.
And everybody is just doing the right thing to make every guest experience truly memorable.
Yeah.
Because a hotel with a luxury story to tell and with everything good is not enough. You must offer that incredible experience. Now, I want to show you this space.
This is a tea dance area, right?
Oh my
I heard about tea dance, but I'm not sure what that exactly is about.
Okay, Victor Sassoon, he is the lifestyle guru, if you like. Every Saturday, he built this hotel with a second floor balcony on this mezzanine floor so that his jazz band can play from the top while he invites his special guests to have a tea dance and enjoying the afternoon tea. And by the way, he was being British. He introduced the first afternoon tea, English afternoon tea, and it happened here in the Jasmine Lounge. So every Saturday, as you can see, this is transformed into a dance floor, and you have the band playing from upstairs.
How nice.
It's just an atmosphere that you only have to be here to behold. Amazing.
It's great to see when people not many Chinese people would like to dance in public in the past, other than nowadays when those some older ladies would like to dance in the parks.
Right.
But that's a different thing because nice music and dancing in public with nice afternoon tea setting, it just brings so much joy to you. You feel that life is beautiful.
It's about the right mood, the right ambience, and the right setting.
Absolutely.
And this is absolutely perfect, picture perfect. And when you sit here, even if you're a bit shy to dance, I promise you want to get up and kick your heels.
I'm sure I will. I need to get my dancing classes. I need to book my dancing classes. Okay, let's move on.
Let's go to, again, a slice of the history of the 92 years. You have to see the museum. The museum is where we capture the story.
And there was a banner high up there. It says the Peace Museum.
Yes,
since
1929. That's right.
Yes.
And you see on the logo there are two whippets. They are small mini greyhounds. Because Victor Sassoon's joy, his pastime is horse racing and greyhound racing. So that's his logo.
Okay, let's move on. So I'm going to ask our cameraman to follow us upstairs.
Okay. Oh, here's the man. We have to at least give him a little bit of airtime.
Yes.
Victor Sassoon. That's how he looks like. Very handsome.
That is the founder of this hotel, actually the builder of the building.
Absolutely.
Yeah, he actually created this legend for us.
Right.
Now let's move on. We have so many, I know so much to see here. Great pictures and things from the past. And this is a great shot of the building.
A great shot. This is the first advertising of the hotel, if you like. So it's the first advertising banner. And look at that, Cathay Hotel on the Bund in Shanghai. The Cathay, the most modern hotel in China. Most modern? They forgot the word. The most luxurious.
This is a laundry bag.
Laundry bag.
From when?
That's cute, isn't it? From 1929.
1930s. Oh, 1929. Yeah. Wow, cute. Amazing. You kept a laundry bag from back then.
Oh, well, a lot more than just a laundry bag.
Okay, so what I'm really interested is about, I heard there is 9 nations suites in the hotel, and they were so famous. I'm so curious.
Well, we're going to see one or two of the suites later on.
Wow.
So what's the 9 Nation Suites about? As you know, Victor Sassoon's empire was growing and booming. And these are the 9 countries that has helped him along the way since he left India
And
to
we
come
have
to
all
Shanghai.
the old pictures of the
These are
suites
all
on
the
the
old
wall.
pictures. And later on, what you see are the restored back to its original version of the 9 Nation Suites. Really special story.
So the suites today, what we'll be seeing today, are they, how different are they? How much different are they from the pictures?
Absolutely luxurious. And of course, we got to put modern elements in it.
Yes.
Like the bathroom has to be seriously upgraded.
Of course, and then like maybe
And the
like
Wi-Fi.
iPod players.
Yeah, Wi-Fi has to be super fast.
Wow,
So
this is so
that's
cool.
what I mean by the timelessness and the modernity. And I think that is so critical. And
I love the way you put it, timelessness in the modernity.
it's striking that balance. Life is all
Yeah.
about a balance, right?
Yeah.
And you look at this original crockery and silverware that was used in this hotel. That's the room key.
That's the key. I was going to
Yeah,
ask you, what
it's the
are
V
they?
shape. That's the Victor Sassoon. And you know why they are so sharp and pointed? I think this is made of silver. He didn't want it to go missing. So if you
Okay.
put it in your pocket, it's going to hurt you, right?
Okay.
So you make sure you hand it back.
Oh, okay. And
And
that's
look
a
at-
CD,
oh,
right?
Yeah, well, this is really high tech in 1930. So if you have a party here, an event here, a memorable situation here that you want to capture on voice, we can record it here for you, and you can.
Back in
send
the
it.
1930s?
Yes, so this is super high tech in those days.
What is it made of?
It's just a disc.
Wow, that's amazing. So they can actually, like the voices from decades ago can be
Yes.
heard and preserved. Today we
Yes.
can still hear
We
them,
can
what
still hear
people
them
are
today.
saying, what they're talking
Absolutely.
about. And we have more silvers here.
Okay, this is when the Peace Hotel, the Cathay became the Peace Hotel. We have to have a new logo, a new emblem, if you like. So this is the first set of silverware that we were using to service the guests. So
And
we
I'm-
capture all of that. And of course, these are all the famous people who, Charlie Chaplin, he's a big fan of Victor Sassoon. Marlene Dietrich, well, she was like the Marilyn Monroe, if you like, right, of
A
Germany.
great singer.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
A Chinese
no
movie star
Coward.
as well, yeah.
No
No
Coward.
Coward, that's
yeah.
the British script
He's
writer,
the script
right?
writer. He wrote the play called Private Lives. He wrote it while he was down with flu and stayed here for 5 days in one of our 9 Nation Suites. And he used that time to finish off this play. And if you go to the West End of London today, you will still see Private Lives from Noel Coward. That's how amazing it is. And it was actually written in our suite.
You know what I know about this play, Private Lives, is it was, I think it was last year or this year, they were adopting it into a Chinese
You're
play.
right. It was
right?
actually.
It's
we
played
actually
in
have
Shanghai.
we actually have it in the Jasmine Lounge.
Wow.
We had a session.
I
It
haven't
was
seen it. Next time when it's
We'll make
played
sure
in
we
here,
invite you.
make sure you invite me, please do.
Absolutely.
Oh, these are amazing, great photos.
Okay, another
So
great story.
We're going to turn a tour actually right next to window.
Look at that.
The
Nanjing
beautiful
Road.
view.
Look at this pedestrian walkway. You've got to give credit to the Shanghai government. They've got this
Yeah.
foresight. You know, the Nanjing Road is the funnel that takes all people to the Bund.
Yeah.
And I think it just makes so much sense to make this into a totally safe pedestrian walkway. I mean, kudos to the Shanghai government. They're really good.
And it's also great, like everywhere inside this building, every window you look out.
Every
provides
corner there's a
great
story. I
view.
wish you
Yeah.
have 10 hours at least.
Me too. I wish we get to stay here for a night or something. And that's
This
a
is the
beautiful
original
lalique.
lalique. I mean, it used to hang as the chandelier. René Lalique, this famous
Beautiful.
French artisan. I think it's really incredible that we are so blessed to have
It is
a
beautiful.
snippet of all this. Yeah.
And these are the old movies.
These are the old movies. We're going to see more of it on the
Okay.
corridor.
Great.
And the Peace Hotel, the Fairmont Peace Hotel, previously the Cathay Hotel. Going back to the good old days, it was like a filming mecca as well.
Oh, so is that the groundbreaking?
That's right.
Oh, right. All right. Okay, we can't miss this one. We almost missed it, but that's the groundbreaking,
That's a groundbreaking
So
in
that's
1927.
okay.
You
July
see?
the 4th.
July the 4th, 1927. What a special moment to capture on film, huh?
Okay.
And look at how everybody was being dressed at that time. It's really spectacular. And to be able to sink that many piles right next to the Huangpu River,
know. It's amazing.
it's an art.
Because back then the Bund is not the Bund that we see today. Basically, it's nothing there. It's just the river.
It's just a river.
And the river bank, that's it, right?
Yep. And the river is still the same river. It is just as busy and as bustling.
Yeah.
It really gives energy to the whole city of Shanghai. There isn't a great city that has a river, magical river that goes in between. And I think Shanghai is just bar none. It is the most. I've been to so many cities, work in so many places. I love Shanghai.
You have been to, what are the other cities that you have worked and lived in for
Beijing,
quite a long time?
of course, in China, Beijing and Shanghai, and I've been to Singapore. I've been to Malaysia, Kota Kinabalu, opening hotels there.
And
of
Shanghai
course,
is special.
Shanghai is special.
Wow, this is a great corridor.
Right,
With all the pictures
and we
on
thought
both
this
sides.
is such a beautiful corridor that really depicts what Art Deco is at its finest, from floor to ceiling. And we thought, well, what
the
better
photos of the
place
movies, of those
to
very
showcase
well-known
those
movies.
special movies.
Yeah,
And here you-
let's give a shot of the posts on the side. That's
Shanghai Pride, that's a movie that
that's Gong Li. Oh, she's my
was
favorite
in.
actress.
And we have another one. So this was shot in 1985.
1985.
Three years ago, she came back out of retirement. So we were so blessed to have her. And she was back again.
Saturday Fiction.
Saturday Fiction, it was only released 3 weeks ago in Shanghai.
I know.
Because
I
of
was
the
gonna
COVID, right?
They actually had a shot on your rooftop, right? I
Yes.
mean, with the
Oh,
green
my
rooftop
goodness.
on the back in the
Yes.
background.
That's
We're going
right.
to see that later on.
Yeah, you're going to see that. So this is really special. So Gong Li, and then we have the Steven Spielberg movie. We all know that, Empire of the Sun.
Yes.
That was shot in and around here too. So that's a fantastic movie. And all up, about 50 movies. Aren't we lucky? You know, they chose to be here because the Peace Hotel is just unique, iconic.
It's special, and also because you preserve the building so well
Absolutely.
that it still hosts its authentic, its original flavor, and it can still tell stories of times.
Absolutely. It really, like I said, we can spend a whole day here storytelling.
Yeah.
And that's what this hotel is all about. It's rich stories, different stories that make everything come alive.
Yes, it's like a living museum, right?
Totally. And I always say that, you know, I'm so happy to be like a custodian of a museum, except we got to make money.
Oh,
It must
sure.
be a successful commercial concern.
I know. I mean, how many rooms of suites
We
can
have
do you provide?
270 rooms.
Wow, in this
Yeah,
building,
in this
200.
building.
Wow,
And-
that's a great way that you work. Work on the building and taking making full use of the spaces of the building, and still manage to preserve, its authentic and original style.
Absolutely. I think the first and foremost, we are so blessed to have this icon fully restored, back to be truly authentic with its Art Deco detailing. And secondly, we're so blessed to have the deep history that we even share with every guest that come into our space.
Okay.
And on top of that, we got the old jazz band just to put the icing on the cake, and I think it's fantastic.
And speaking of Art Deco, this is also pretty cute.
This is fantastic, right? So this, again, is one of the art lighting features that we have. If you look at the entrance there, this is actually the original entry to the Peace Hotel, in the Cathay Hotel in those days. So this was gate number 1, the main entrance.
Okay.
And Victor Sassoon would be standing there on the balcony welcoming his guests. And Charlie Chaplin used to be here all the time. And
So
we
these
call
are
this
quite famous
This
staircases.
is a famous staircase. And this is like a mass photograph area.
Wow. Let's move
Let's
closer to the
do one.
picture so we can give our audience a close shot of the picture
Absolutely.
of Charlie Chaplin.
Charlie Chaplin.
In the hotel, 1936, in March that year, he was standing right on those staircases, taking questions from the media, right?
Absolutely.
And who else have been standing on those staircases?
Oh, many. I mean, the list is endless. Marlene Dietrich, Laurence Olivier, you know, and most recently, of course, we have Obama and we have Justin Trudeau. So everyone who is everyone comes here.
Wow.
And this is the most photographed space.
This
apart
should
from
be
the-
also
apart from the atrium,
Yeah.
because this captures the spirit, the heart and soul
Yes.
of the hotel.
Yeah,
if
with,
you like,
with the arch.
Oh, this is
and
all
all those
original.
carves
Look
on
at this
top.
beautiful ceiling.
Yeah.
I mean, this is truly amazing. I mean, I look at them every day just in stunned silence at the beauty. So lucky, and I'm so happy to have you here so we can share with more people.
Yeah, it's
That's
it's
very
my
much our
pleasure
job.
too. So are we
Yeah, let's
moving
come in.
upstairs? Okay.
See, everything's a little bit small, I guess, but it must be authentic. So
Okay.
we want to make sure that we capture the original essence of the space. I mean, look at this wood paneling, this amazing art detailing on the mirror frame. Look at this mosaic. I mean, this is original. We brought it back to life.
It's interesting even to look down
Yeah,
at what
you
we
look
are
at-
stepping on.
Just look at that.
This mosaic. With all
There
the-
isn't another hotel with this kind of detailing. That's how
Right.
blessed we are.
Right. Okay.
So we have a big responsibility to really to make sure that this is done right and that we maintain it in its finest condition.
Okay. Which way are we going? Which floor are we on? Fifth.
We're now on the fifth. We are going to the Indian suite.
The Indian suite. I was really looking forward to check out that suite because I know it was one of the beautiful
Oh,
non-Asian suites that we have. So we're gonna
Totally.
be arriving there. So
Here
follow
we
us
are.
in. Thank you. Thank you.
Just
wow.
look at this. You know, the thing about the 9 nation suites, if you're in any one of those suites, you're in that country. So now you're in India. Welcome to India. Look
Wow.
at the
Welcome to
detailing.
India.
Right. I mean, just look at this.
Wow.
How opulent, how incredible.
Look at that.
Yes. So, you know, we wanted to maintain this so that, you know, the Peace Hotel will forever be famous for the 9 nation suites because it tells a story. And look at how it captures and frames the view of the Bund with these
Wow.
Indian elements
Yes.
and the chairs.
Let's get a shot of outside the window.
Sunny day. You brought
Yeah.
the sun.
Yeah. Everything's beautiful. It's so exotic.
Yes.
Everything, including.
One of a kind. This hotel is, the Fairmont Peace is
I know.
one of a kind.
So this is like.
And this 9 nation suite,
There's nothing like this.
nothing like this.
Nothing like
One of
this.
a
Look
kind.
at the paintings, the decorations
Yeah.
on the wall.
It's all about the detailing.
Yes.
Amazing
Everything
beauty,
is exotically beautiful. And I was thinking like maybe in one of those famous Indian buildings, probably like, for instance, the Taj Mahal, maybe inside that building, one of the rooms would be look like something like this.
right? Yeah, maybe, but there's only one Peace Hotel.
Yeah, I know. It's one of a kind.
Oh, I want to show you the bathroom.
Come on in.
And this is where you have the shower, and you can have a shower looking over the Bund.
Wow, have a shower
think-
looking over the
yeah,
Bund. How
hey,
interesting.
this is the lifestyle that we're talking about, right?
That's going to be a very long shower.
There's no rush. And you see the detailing on the wall,
Yes.
the mirror on top of the
Yeah.
vanity counter.
Yeah. Let's get you a shot of the details on the wall, on the mirror.
Just look at this.
On the mirror, on the wall, everything.
Right.
And let's just make sure that they really fit the theme of the suite.
Oh,
That's Indian style.
It fits amazingly well, and people just love this suite. By the way, this is Victor Sassoon's favorite suite.
So he
And
actually
Charlie Chaplin actually stayed here with his
stayed
wife.
in this suite.
Yes,
Okay.
absolutely. And a lot of other people stayed here, obviously. 9 Nation Suites are one of the most popular offerings that we have at the Peace.
Let's get a shot of the dining room. It
Oh,
looks just
yeah.
beautiful. Okay.
Look
Let's
at
get out
that
of the
frame.
way.
Look at that frame.
Wow. Wow, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's
It's all
just-
about the detailing, right?
Yeah.
Mm.
How how lovely it is. And the decorations, everything, the settings on the table, the glasses, the jar.
Totally.
It's just totally amazing. So this room, I'm sure it must be booked like all the time around. It must be one of your
every
most
every
popular
weekend
rooms.
especially is booked. It's high on the list. Now our Nine Nation Suites, we're so happy because it helps to tell the story of the peace experience when you stay in the Nine Nation Suite.
So do we have time to check out another suite?
Let's do a French suite, eh?
Wow, great. French style, I can't wait. It's like it really feels like going through country from country.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So interesting. So it's on the same floor.
No, we're going up this way.
We're going up, okay. How many levels up?
Just one.
Okay.
Little bit of exercise.
Sure, no problem.
But even when you see the detailing of the staircase, it's truly amazing, and how we have to maintain this original brass. I mean, these are the
original.
Yeah, these are the details that we have to get right.
And this is
Guess what piano this is?
1927. It's an ancient antique piano.
It is the first of a kind that was in China.
Yes.
And it came here in 1927.
Another antique.
Right.
Wow. Really, I mean, every corner you turn in the building is history.
History rich in every corner. And we're going now to the French suite over here. People ask me, what's the favorite spot you would like to capture in this beautiful hotel with this Art Deco detailing? And I said to them, this is my favorite. Just look at that shot. It is truly amazing. I can stand here forever. Just look at that synergy and symmetry going all the way down the length of the corridor.
That's also a scene that I think I've seen in movies.
Yes, of course, because it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
And you just can't build a place like this anymore nowadays. So we truly...
Come on. Wow, I could stand there forever and just
So
look
now
at
you're
that.
coming into Paris and France. So this is elegant, this is sophisticated, this is sexy.
Yeah, we just left New Delhi and we are arriving at Paris now.
Yes.
A beautiful French style painting. I love the oil painting at the front door.
Right, right.
Wow.
So you see how different it is? So you are in elegant, sophisticated Paris. And again, they all have this superb view of the Bund.
So each suite provides a different view over the Bund from a different angle. And it's all about details, really. I mean, everything, the details all the way onto the walls, to the curtains, to the side of the windows, everything. It's just really, I feel like I'm in Paris and looking outside window. Looking
cool,
at it,
right?
yeah, but only that there's nothing such as a Bund in Paris, because the Bund is unique.
We are so lucky to have this location. Even the richest man in the world, I didn't want to say his name, he can't even build a place like this nowadays,
I agree.
even if he have the resources.
I agree.
You know, you can't wind the clock back, right?
Right. And let's check out the other rooms in this suite.
Okay.
So
right.
that was the living room, right?
This is the bedroom.
That's the bedroom. That's the main bedroom.
That's the main bedroom.
You got very nice candlelights here.
And you know, the wallpaper and all that, that's why I love designers with a great touch, even back to the 1920s, right? You have to be very bold to come up with something like this. It's amazing.
Very spacious.
Luxury, you just want
And
to...
let me tell you, this shower place also has a view of the Bund, I think. That would also be a very long... But just look at the wall.
Yes,
I mean, the wall.
it's all the details, right?
Wow, it's so beautiful. Very nice toilet. Somewhere that people can spend much time in.
Absolutely.
Okay, that was a great tour. I wasn't expecting to see 2 suites. Thank you so much, George.
Well, we can't show you all 9 because the other 7 is being used, so we just have to pick these 2.
We are very lucky that we get to see 2. I was worried that we probably wouldn't be able to see them because I know the Peace Hotel is very popular.
Right.
It's most of the time fully booked, especially those suites.
Totally. Yeah,
So,
we're very lucky, and that's why we got a great team working hard to really drive this awareness, making people want to come to the Peace, whether it's to eat in the restaurants or to stay with us or to be in the lobby and just have a coffee in Victor's, because this hotel really belongs to all people in China, and we feel that we have this deep sense of duty to actually capture it and frame it for them and help them to understand the history and how important it is to enjoy it with us. I think that's what it is, and I feel that's a big part of all our responsibilities, not just the hotel team here. So even you coming here helping us, I think this is fantastic.
So this building has 10 floors, right? So we were at the 5th and 6th, and now we are
at the 9th floor.
The 9th floor.
The 9th floor, and we have 2 restaurants. This one is the cafe room, and our famous Chinese restaurant, Dragon Phoenix, Long Feng Ting, is on the 8th floor. Both restaurants have this 180-degree view of the Bund. Amazing, right?
You know what? It's most of the time that people say if you want to place an investment or property, it's about location.
Easy to say, not always easy to do, right?
I know.
But we ticked every box, and this is why we feel that we're in such a blessed place, and we have got great terraces, so people can look over the Bund. But the most amazing spot is the Sassoon balcony.
Okay, so we're gonna take.
We're going to come to the Sassoon balcony.
To the Sassoon balcony, that's the best place to get a view over the Bund.
Right.
I'm so privileged that we get to be sitting here, and it's such a nice day today with beautiful sunshine.
Day.
Wow!
What a great day! Come on, let's
thank
just
you. It's a
stand
very
out
nice
there.
setting. Let's get in the sun.
Just
Wow!
look at this. You know, when you are in the lobby atrium, you're stunned with silence, with the beauty of it, right? And then later on, you come up to the Sassoon balcony, and you say, "Oh my God, what an incredible sight to behold!" And this is the place, we call it the proposal balcony as well. So this is sold almost every night.
The proposal balcony.
Absolutely. The boy and the girl, if you want to be serious and get married, there's no better place than to sit here and to pledge to the whole world, will you marry me?
So I guess the
and you know
success rate is very high to do a proposal here.
Almost 100%.
100%.
Oh, it's 100%. And here, going back to the 80s and the 90s, especially the late 80s, because Shanghai being such a bustling city, and in those days, the young folks, the young people was living in very crowded spaces, right? So they did not have the privilege of privacy. So they all go down Nanjing Road, hand in hand, stand by the Bund, holding their hands, kissing, romanticizing.
It's like a lover's bond.
It's a lover's Bund. So this is the most apt, the most iconic Bund for people to propose going back decades. So where better place to propose here? And people get married all the time in our Peace Hall because they're joining the dots, right?
I found
I
so
think,
much love.
I know. And for me, you know, the favorite saying I have about this hotel and about Peace is people say you haven't been to Shanghai until you step foot on this magnificent Bund.
Wow.
Because the Bund is about Shanghai.
And
Then they say, you haven't been to Shanghai if you've only stepped foot off the Bund, but you haven't been into the Peace Hotel. The Peace Hotel is core and center.
you haven't
got to
been
go
to
there.
the Bund if you haven't set foot in the Peace Hotel.
Right. That doesn't count. That means you haven't been. And then they say, hey, but hang on a minute. You haven't been to Shanghai if you only just step foot on the Bund and you actually come into the Peace Hotel, but you never go and see the old jazz band play. That doesn't count. You have to see all 3 and then you've been to Shanghai.
So you have to be on the Bund, in the Peace Hotel, and see the old jazz band
Fantastic.
play. And do your proposal
you
here
learn
on the
so
Sassoon
well.
balcony. So we can't really see the rooftop from there, but I'm sure we can cut a picture of the rooftop.
Absolutely.
The beautiful green rooftop
absolutely.
from up there. It's so much history. above the ground,
Right.
and people can see it from far away, along with the big bell on the customs building,
Oh my God.
and the rounding rooftop
Oh.
of the old HSBC building. So these are iconic landmarks of the Bund, and people get a shot of them as you say, "Hey, I'm in Shanghai,
You're in
and
Shanghai.
I'm in the Bund."
So, look, I really say to every visitor to Shanghai, every Chinese, make sure you spend some time with us, because this is so much a great part of what Shanghai, what China is all about, going back to 92 years. And we even got a museum to actually
Yes.
make you really enjoy more all the details.
Yeah,
No,
and
it's
it's
fantastic.
so nice. We've got coffee and tea here.
I think
so,
you're a tea drinker?
Yeah, I'm a tea drinker.
Okay,
Thank
I'll
you so much.
come here.
And this, thank you. Okay, we're gonna sit down here for a minute and enjoy some very nice afternoon time with my new best friend George. Thank you so much. It was an amazing tour.
Thank you.
And before we really started to get into the tea and coffee, I really want to thank all of our audience for staying with us for the past 50 minutes. Our live stream will go on for another 1.5 hours. We'll take you to some other great places in Shanghai, very different from this one. The Peace Hotel is one of a kind.
One of a kind.
It's very unique. You don't find it anywhere else in the world. But remember, if you do come to Shanghai, remember what George told us.
Yeah.
Make sure you come to the Bund. Make sure you set foot in the Peace Hotel, and make sure if you have the time to check out the old jazz
you
band.
must have the time.
Yes, you must have the time.
Absolutely.
And young boys, if you wanted to get serious with a girlfriend, make sure you come to the Sassoon balcony. This is 100% success rate when you
100%
propose
success,
here.
followed by a wedding later on in our famous Peace Hall.
Oh, really? Okay. That's a
that's
great
fantastic.
place. And as I said, when we were walking inside the hotel, I said I used to come here to the Victors
Right.
for afternoon teas or for brunch with my great friends.
Right.
So what's great about the Peace Hotel is that this is not only a place for the rich people, for the elites. It also is a place that Shanghai citizens and tourists in Shanghai can totally step in here, have a nice time here, whether be it a brunch or an afternoon tea, or just maybe check out the little museum. You welcome everyone to come in and learn about the hotel, right?
Totally. Be at peace. Come here, be with us, so that we can do the storytelling. And I'm sure you want to sit here, have a cup of coffee, have a lunch, have a dinner, have a Sunday brunch, but always see the old jazz band. And better still, stay in our Nine Nation Suites, because it takes you through a slice of history.
Okay.
And this is iconic.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave you with what I promised you earlier, the video with the old jazz band. As George and I will be sitting here for a few minutes. I got a few minutes before I catch you on to our next stop. But we are definitely gonna enjoy my tea here with this
that
view.
view. My God.
Nothing matches this.
And the day is so sunny.
Yeah.
I mean, it was raining the last few days.
Yeah.
So you brought us all the good luck.
Yeah,
Well
I brought
done.
you all the good luck and the sunshine. So enjoy the video, enjoy the music being played by the old jazz band. Ladies and gentlemen, enjoy that, and we're gonna get our tea.
Absolutely.
Okay, I
Sure.
see you in just a few minutes, and allow me 2 minutes probably. I need to gonna change out of this dress because we're going to be on the streets, in the
Okay.
bazaars
My
and
God, you're
everything.
busy.
Well, I just got out of the Peace Hotel. That was quite a tour, right? And I hope you guys have enjoyed the play by the old jazz band. And they were playing, actually, okay, let me get on the vehicle. Okay, that's a door hard open. And let me introduce you to my new friend. Hey, Steven.
Hello.
Hey, hello.
How you doing?
This is your microphone?
Yep.
Okay,
Yep.
it's all turned on.
All
All right. Great.
Hello,
so,
everyone.
Steven, introduce yourself to everyone, please. Would you mind
Sure.
holding on the microphone?
All right, cool.
This is yours.
Yeah, my name's Steven. I've been working with SMG for quite some time, actually. I've been a TV weatherman, and I also work as a copy editor with the news crew, and do all kinds of stuff. You know?
So you told me that you have been inside the CIIE this year.
I have. I did a live
did you
stream
check
from
out?
there just 2 days ago. You know, I mean, it's a huge venue. It's absolutely massive. So I didn't see all of it because I mean, you'd need.
It was huge, yeah.
No, you'd need several days to see the whole thing. Like if you really wanted to get into it.
What are some of the things that you think you must buy from there?
Well, I mean, the CIIE is more of a networking event, right? For companies that are looking to break into the China market or perhaps expand their footprint in the China market. So it's really a place where all these brands and companies come together to meet each other, sign contracts, do all kinds of things like that. It's big business, very big business. The average person would either have to go to the Greenland Hub, which is kind of like it's a 365 CIIE, so to speak. A lot of the products you see at the expo will be at the Greenland Hub for purchase by the general public. But in terms of general public at the expo itself, it's not one of those type things where people go in and go shopping and do all that kind of stuff.
We're gonna actually take you to one of the places that people can do that.
Yes.
It's the CIIE market, and you haven't been there.
I've not been there this year. No.
So yeah, you definitely should come along with us, and
right.
it's a place that ordinary citizens, people can just walk in and buy things and take home.
Yeah.
And they have a price discount that is about 10 to 15% discount from their average price when you buy those things in the malls. And Stephen, you've been in Shanghai for how long? Many years, I guess. Too long to remember.
No, that's not 17 years.
17 years.
17 years.
Okay, glad
I've
you
been here
still
for a while.
remember.
Yeah, I got a wife and a house and
So you call Shanghai home?
It is.
now,
No, definitely. I've lived in Shanghai longer than I've lived with the exception of my hometown,
Which is?
Montreal. But I left Montreal at age 21. So in another 4 years, I will have lived in Shanghai as long as I lived it.
So you must have see how CIIE has changed or impacted people or the city over the years. This is the 4th year?
Well, this is the 4th year. And what you notice basically is just more and more brands from around the world just popping up. And a lot of that is a result of deals that are made at the CIIE and stuff like that. So it's not something you're going to see one-to-one. You know what I mean? But the sum of it all, basically, in the last 4 years, there's just been an explosion in foreign brands and their availability here in Shanghai. It's amazing. I mean, anything you want from just about any country can be found here for the most part.
And you've done some interviews as well in the CIIE venue.
I did,
What are some of the interesting feedbacks that you got from those, foreign businesses?
Well, most interesting I saw this year was actually it was actually a Chinese company, but it made use of some foreign technology and stuff like that. They make like a yeast. So for bread products and stuff like that. And what they did was they worked with folks in Xizang in Tibet to basically harness their highland barley, which for thousands of years they have obviously been using it to make bread, but it wasn't, it was hard bread. It was, rural kind of. They ate it. It gave them the energy they needed to get through the day and get their job done. It worked. However, with this new technology that they came out with, it turned this highland barley into a type of product that could be used to make like croissant or Danish or just about anything. Like I'm talking really soft, moist, delicious bread.
Is it supposed to be like more nutritional?
Sure, yeah, no, but it's not just that. It's basically created a whole new industry for the people there. This is something that they couldn't. This is something that they couldn't leverage in order to build their economy. It was simply a staple food that they grew so that they could eat. There was no market for it outside of that region, but by creating by innovating this particular product, they were able to. Now they're exporting their highland barley to other parts of China. This is growing. So that was a fantastic story. I thought it was very, very cool.
Yeah, how innovation in technology and business can actually improve people's lives.
Sure, sure. And like the last thing, when people think about innovation tech, they don't think about food. They're thinking about a new smaller phone or a longer lasting battery for an EV or something like that.
Yeah.
That's normally what people think of. But innovation comes in all shapes and forms.
Yeah, we were hoping for a longer lasting battery from our microphones because we've been doing this live stream for 2.5 hours. We were a bit worried about we may run out of battery at some point, but hopefully not. But I saw you very interesting. I saw one of your, I think it's a vlog or something that you did with CIIE, that you interviewed a post, like a lady on a post. How do you feel about the CIIE?
And that was just me making a fool of myself. I'm frequently asked to do stuff on social media, like little vignettes and stuff like that for different projects. In fact, last year I did not attend the CIIE, but instead I did a series of videos. I say the reporters and the producers at ICS, they did most of the work. Okay, I just showed up and said, "Hey, look at this. This is cool. Hey, look at that." You know how it is. It's just But we put together a series of videos showcasing some of the products that came in the previous CIIE, and talked to the vendors and the shops and stuff like that about what they were looking forward to right before the third CIIE. This year, for the fourth, I didn't do that, but I actually went to the event itself and did some. I did a live stream from there and I think I shot a video there as well. But what you saw was basically more of a promo type thing before the live stream. Was I just went to the shopping mall next to the SMG building,
just making some jokes,
just walking around and talking to people. Ask them, because that's the thing with the CIIE.
What did those people say?
Well, the majority of people know of it, right?
For sure.
But if you're not participating in it, or if you're not in an industry that is participating in it in some way, you don't really. You think it's just another trade show, right? Which I mean, on the surface, that is what it looks like
for ordinary people.
Correct. But it's you can't just walk in there, right? I mean, you have to apply for it ahead of time. You have to have a pass. You have to have all kinds, in order to get into the. I think I'm not sure if they did it this year or last year, but for the first two CIIEs, on the last day, they opened it to the public. Right?
Yes.
So the public were allowed to go in and
the same.
They're going to do that this year too.
Yeah, they're going to open to the public and in the last few days, which is that was actually a point that we can actually discuss, that the ordinary people, they would think it's just a trade fair being held in our city, probably even far away from where I live, so probably it doesn't impact me, which is why the whole purpose of setting up a CIIE market like the one that we're going to check out, it's on the busiest street in Shanghai, the center of the commercial district in Shanghai, so people can understand what CIIE means to people in Shanghai and even people in China. That is to offer them more choices, more alternatives when they consume, right?
Absolutely.
And these products and services are going to change their lives, probably change their lifestyle. And that's a great thing. That is to, what we call to make life better, because you have more choices.
Sure, more choices. Almost always a good thing.
It is.
Sometimes it can be like, what do I get? It can be frustrating. Like, for example, when I go into a grocery store and there's 20 different kinds of milk, I'm like, I don't know, and it's just so many to choose from. But again, better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it, right?
We also have a solution to your problem, because at the CIIE, because the event is going to be open to the public, you can walk in to check out their booth, and there are professionals to explain to you about their products.
Absolutely.
So it's one thing about customers, that when sometimes they freak out about having too many choices, that they don't know what kind of information that they can have. They don't know much about the products, but once you get information that you need, you can make your own judgment.
That's true. That's true. true. In fact, I did one of the places I was live streaming from was a dairy producer from New Zealand who's opening up. They basically streamlined their supply chain, like digitalized it basically, so they can. Their thing apparently is they can get milk from a cow to a kitchen table in China in 72 hours.
Wow.
Right? Yeah, no, I couldn't. I found that hard to believe myself. But
they
did show me how they managed to do it. It's again,
it's still fresh.
it's a continuous supply chain, right? And that's not their only product, mind you. They have several products. Their point being is that they've streamlined the import process to the point where it can go from, it's taken from the cow on a Monday, it's processed on a Tuesday morning, put on a plane on a Tuesday afternoon, and it's on sale in China on Wednesday. Yeah.
Okay, I think we are here, right?
Well, the car stopped.
We're
so
here.
That's
okay,
probably a pretty good sign.
All right, let's get off.
We're stepping
Let's
out.
go to the market.
All right.
Wow, it's the busy Nanjing Road. I think it's this way.
Yep.
Right. I've been here once. Very interesting. This is interesting because we get a place for customers to see the products, and then we have a great fair for everyone to learn about the products.
Yeah, no, Nanjing Road it's the spot basically.
Yeah, it's right. The bazaar is right in the middle of the busiest commercial district in Shanghai, and over there we see Yong'an Baihe, which is also an old building, an old department store in Shanghai, very popular into this day. And you consider people tourists, even though this is not a weekend.
No, if this were a weekend, we wouldn't be able to. There would be people in between us and the camera right now.
You are
this
right.
This place is mobbed on the weekend.
I know. This is a morning of a weekday, and we still see so many people walking here. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
And then the bazaar is actually right over there in that little building. You see it. It doesn't look big, but I heard that they have like over 5,000 products.
I can believe
being displayed in there.
I can believe
you
that.
You can imagine how busy it could be with people.
Oh, yeah.
So I checked the place out the other day. There are people bargaining there for like leather jackets and stuff, and beautiful ornaments from Turkey. These are some of the things that we're going to show our audience.
Okay.
And then I think we will be also received by the manager of the shop here, so he's going to tell us more about it. And by the way, we have to check this out. I know we have this in a few places in China around the country, but this is all very interesting.
The Turkish ice cream.
Yeah. Have you got it before? Okay.
Oh, I've done this before. Yeah.
Let's give a shot of the ice
all
cream.
Right.
I'm sure you've done it before.
Yeah.
You can never get it.
No, that's the whole. That's the shtick.
Thank you very much. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, James. Hey, this is James.
Hi, my name's James.
Yeah, you want to introduce yourself to the audience, like your position at the bazaar?
Okay, I'm the bazaar store manager. Nice to meet you to everyone. Yeah, hi.
And this is Steven.
Hi, Steven.
He's from ICS, and we're going to be doing this whole thing together.
Okay. Do you want to eat?
Can I have it?
Yeah,
great.
Please, yeah.
Wow, this is my treat of the day.
And he just gave it right to you. You didn't try to take it away.
Yeah, you're so nice, James. So you can play around with me. Right. So let's go into this bazaar.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I was telling Stephen, it doesn't look very big, but I heard that it has like 5,000 products being sold in there.
Yeah. So we got more than 5,000 merchandise in about 40 countries and regional things. And they have lots of customers want to buy the CIIE, the same one in our store. If you can see the CIIE, the product, only for the exhibition, but in our store you can buy it.
Right. Yeah. No, I was just at the CIIE. I was saying the same thing. It's not. The CIIE is not really. It's not an open market where people go to buy things. It's a place where people make deals and sign contracts.
Yes.
But places like this are
This is a market,
This is market, and I will show you the CIIE, the same one. Very interesting.
Okay.
For the Pakistan, you can see the source lamp. This is very interesting. This lamp and the source is under the 600 the mountain inside. And you can see this have the advantage because the first they can eat. You know, it's very health for the customer.
I've got Himalayan pink salt at home.
Oh, really?
Me too, me too. This is what I use at home.
Yeah. All right. The second, you know the something inside the region will release for the customer to help customer to good sleep and something like that. It's very good merchandise.
Wow. So can we make like a lamp out of the salt that we have at home?
I think you need a couple of million years and a lot of pressure.
Okay.
In order to make a block of that,
Okay, but it's glad to hear that it's very healthy and also a very nice ornament as well in the meantime. Okay, let's move on.
All right, I introduced the Italian. Just come here. It's very interesting. Yeah. All right. For here. Do you know guess what's that inside? It's like the oyster mushroom.
Okay.
But it's not oyster mushroom. I'm just joking, you know. Okay, don't waste any time. This is bread with the echo inside. But for Chinese people, the first time to see this one, they are very think, oh, this are very special. They will buy this. This is why how much the Italian people will like the echo. They eat the bread. They also can eat the wine, something like that. So now it's become very popular. The Chinese people will like it.
Yeah, it's got a liqueur. It's got an Italian aperitif.
Yes.
Very interesting.
Okay.
So, do you like it? You like that
very
too?
Much, very much.
Okay, all right.
Okay, move that one.
Let's move
gonna
on.
go this way?
Yeah.
All
Let's
right.
move on. Okay. Let me give my ice cream to my colleagues. It's
right,
it's a treat for you guys, girls. Thank you.
This one,
Let's move on.
Okay.
Ladies first.
Thank you.
Lady first, yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Do you
you.
see that? There's the
Beautiful.
pen picture, but it's not. This used the animal fur line, used the needle to fix it.
Can I feel it?
Yes. It's very soft, you know.
Wow.
And this waste about 2%, about 6 to 8 months, use that to labor to finish it. It's also very nice, and you see the calorie inside, a lot of calorie inside. This for the iron means it's rich. You can become success. So many Chinese folks will buy this, and you know that, yeah. So the order one maybe with the 2.5 months, we use the ship over the sea and come to the China. Yeah.
Okay, that's something beautiful. So something nice to eat, something nice to put on the bedside,
Yes.
something nice to look at. What else?
Okay, and else for here, yeah. And we see the horse, Stephen and Lily. Come
The
here.
those two, the horses.
Yes, you know, that one is very beautiful. You see the line and see the picture. They were used about 8 to 10 times to fire in the machine, and you see this very nice. They also used to make this by hand about 6 years. Oh no, sorry, 6 months. 6 months. All right. It's look like the.
Are these two a couple?
Yeah, this couple. This for the female and this for the male.
Okay, so if you want to get one, make sure you get the couple because he's gonna get lonely if you just get one of them.
Yes. All right. Yeah. So move next one.
All right.
let's
Please.
move
Yeah.
on.
We're
Come here.
moving
You
on.
know, as you can see, there are so many things to check out here, and we only have the time to point out a few of them for you guys. But make sure, all of our audience, if you do come here to the CIIE Bazaar, the market, you're probably going to spend, I don't know, hours. You can spend hours in here. This is a small space, but so much to see.
All right, we move to the middle of area. You can see this area is the same product as the fourth CIIE. You can see I told you before the Pakistan the soul lamp.
Yes.
Pero about how to say the English name. That's the
alpacas.
Yeah, alpacas.
Alpacas.
Yes, nice. The Irish whiskey, Swiss beer, and some the containment of the Argentine.
Argentina.
Yeah, Argentina. Something.
These in
New Zealand,
spices.
the honey, and the Kung Fu Panda, you know, something, the Chinese one. Yeah. And the cashmere scarf of the Mongolia.
The wraps.
So this all, the customer want to see that one. And our the staff will told them which area you can buy this one.
Oh,
Yeah.
so this is a place that people walk in and get a snapshot of
Right.
what you
It's right by the
offer
main door.
in place. Yeah,
the
and
main
then
door
and then
behind
if
us
they want to
here.
check this out, they could ask you stuff. They will direct them to where they want to be. Right?
Yes.
Wow, this is amazing. So this is it's like a functional area
Sure.
basically. You
Well,
should-
it's like you're saying. I think snapshot is the best way to
anything
put
that
it.
you spot that you would like to buy?
Uh,
The salt.
no, the
lamp?
whiskey.
The whiskey.
Yeah, most likely the whiskey.
I
For
told
sure.
you, yeah, foreign people very like whiskey, like alcohol drink, you know.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Sure. Too bad we can't drink today because we're working, but later on, I'm sure Stephen will probably come back.
Yeah, we'll have
and,
a party at the van later.
Yeah.
Feel free, you know, the whiskey.
Yeah. We got a van, it's a cafe, but hopefully.
Okay.
Wow,
And
this
move
is
to the-
Turkey. Wow, it's
yeah,
beautiful.
Beautiful, right? The lamp and something by hand. And
It's
this
just
one,
beautiful
yeah.
hot balloon. Like many Chinese tourists, when they travel to Turkey, they make sure they would go to Cappadocia and
Yeah.
then they would board a
Yeah.
hot balloon and see the great views and landscapes there. Everything is so beautiful. I mean, I love Turkish style. Everything that the handicrafts and everything.
It's like the material, you know, something very special, and this one, the China cannot do this, and for the local they will do that one, and also like the area for a long time.
I can live here. I can live in this space. This is the kind of space that I love. Let's move on. It's getting even crowded
Yeah,
here.
it's a lot more crowded at this end of the shop.
Yeah. And ham. Wow, the Spanish
Yeah,
ham.
the Iberico.
Wow. It's almost lunchtime, you know, and
I got to cut some of this at Expo on
it's
Sunday.
hard to cut, right? You have to cut a very thin piece.
They're artists, actually.
Okay.
It's an actual trade in Spain, like cutting Iberico is a...
And these are already cut ones, like
Yeah, that's
like you cut
pre-cut,
them in
prosciutto
pieces.
kinda, yeah,
so
exactly.
basically, you buy a pack and take them home, and
Sure.
you open up a bottle of wine, and there you go.
Actually, you know what
A
this
great
is really good
afternoon.
with is you get like some melon. You make melon
Yes,
balls. You
yes.
wrap them in
grapes as well.
Grapes will work
Grapes
too.
and
Sure.
cheese,
yeah.
that will
Something
work as well.
like a sweet kind of fruit with
Yeah.
that is delicious.
Yeah. So I'm gonna probably get some later on.
Alright, this area for the Belgian, that's very special for chocolate and beer. But for Chinese people, they very like much for the chocolate and different chocolate inside. Then we can move inside, can sit to talk about it.
Can we move inside? It seems like there are so many people here. Is it hard to clear with people, or maybe we can find another spot?
Oh,
Yeah.
Ireland, this way,
Yeah.
yeah.
Sure. Let's head it this way. Here we
Yeah,
go.
I mean, this place is it's busier than we had expected, but it's a good thing, right?
Yeah.
So
Busy's good. Busy's
Yeah.
good.
And whiskey and
I think we can just sit on this side,
Yeah,
and
sure.
then we can use this shelf as the background.
All right.
now.
Why don't you get in between us? That
Can I-
way.
no problem, yeah.
So now time for some serious talks, facts and figures about this bazaar.
Over the bazaar, you know, is we got a lot of merchandise inside, 5,000 I told you before, and we got many countries inside, and a lot of countries will join, but just wait because this business is very nice. And for the customer, they just want to buy, but they cannot go in because of the virus. And so this is why the customer want to see the television. And this we can sell the salt lamp and whiskey, something go to our shop, they can buy it and very convenient. And we can, for the CIIE, they on the short time, but in our shop we keep the long distance. We can over maybe 1 year, maybe 2 years, maybe another project. But so copy this one. So this is why we serve to the customer and help to the customer. They will very enjoy to buy it in our store. Yeah.
So will you be moving this bazaar to other places in China?
Yeah, we will copy this idea. We'll go to another city. Maybe go to the second one. We will go to the Hongqiao airport for inside. But we are serve, buy a lot of whiskey, something. They want to know it. They want to buy it, something like that.
Maybe it would be too great that people were going to miss their flights, shopping in the Hongqiao airport.
Well, the irony is the expo hall is like right beside the airport too, right? Like
Yeah.
The International Exposition Center is right beside the Hongqiao hub, very close.
Yeah. So this bazaar is going to be here every year.
This for the 1 year. Another project will remove to the other city. Maybe the Beijing, Tianjin, some Guangzhou, something. Copy that one. So this. So we will keep the experience for the foreign brand because they show the new merchandise will go to the China market. In the CIIE they think this will think in the virus the Chinese market also sell very good. They have the confidence to send more merchandise in our market. So this is why we will keep this one and the cooperation. Yeah.
Okay, so before we go, I mean, this is a great place. We're gonna have to come back and check this place out. Before we go, can you give us pieces of advice? What would you suggest Stephen would have to buy from the market?
Whiskey, alcohol, something like. Because foreign people, it's very much like the alcohol, the whiskey, and something beer. For the Belgian beer, still very nice. But for this beer, maybe half for the foreign people, half for the Chinese people.
Sure.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
What about me?
The career, something the face. So how to say it in English?
Like cosmetics?
Like the skincare products from Korea.
Yeah.
That's, well, you know us so well. It feels like you've known us forever.
But I will prepare free for your boss.
Excellent.
All right.
All right.
Really
Yeah,
great.
yeah.
Definitely need to get some maybe sunscreen because it's getting sunny out there as well. Yeah.
All right.
So thank you so much, James.
Yes, okay.
This is a great tour that you
Okay,
gave us,
okay.
and we're gonna come
James.
back later on
Thank
and
you.
buy
All
stuff
right.
here.
I'll see you in a couple days.
Okay, no
All right.
problem. Yeah.
Okay, see you.
All
Yeah.
right.
Check out the great whiskey.
All
Okay,
right.
see ya.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, let's move on.
All right.
Let's move on.
Where are we off to now?
Well, first of all, we need to get back to our van. I think
Okay.
it's that way,
It's that
right?
way, that's
okay.
right, yep.
Well, sometimes we get lost. So next is very interesting. This is a new market, a new bazaar. We're gonna go to an old market, an
All right.
old commercial street in Shanghai. Of course, you know about the temple of the city god. That's
Of
the
course.
Chonghuang
Yeah,
temple.
yeah. Chonghuang Miao. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to go to that area, and there's a lot to see. We're going to probably check out a few traditional craftsmen there.
Sure.
People will be painting. I heard that they're doing Chinese paintings with their fingers.
Okay.
That'll be something interesting to see.
All right.
But because it's almost lunchtime, so I think it would be nice to check out a good restaurant to have some dim sum there.
All right, sounds
so
good.
we're gonna check out Lubolang. You know that place?
I've never eaten there.
You've never eaten it, but you know that place.
I've heard of it, yes.
It's a very old restaurant. It's actually one of the oldest in Shanghai.
Well, we are going to the old city, so
Yeah,
that's,
yeah. I think it's also almost 100 years old.
Very well
the
could be.
restaurant. Yeah, and then they have some very famous dim sum that they have served to national leaders that visited Shanghai in the past.
Okay.
And I mean, the name of the restaurant, Lubolang, literally means the green waves, which means that the restaurant is located right by the lake. Like, there's a small lake inside the Chonghuang Temple.
That's right, yep.
I mean, supposedly the water is green there, and you get to sit there and enjoy the great view. And then we'll call it a day. But before
right.
that, we're gonna invite the manager of the restaurant to tell us about the history.
excellent.
There.
Very cool.
And what's interesting is that they have a special set of dim sum that's designed for the CIIE.
Okay.
I wonder.
CIIE dim sum.
Yeah, I wonder what CIIE dim sum will taste like and look like.
I would imagine it might actually include some particular ingredients that have just arrived that were previously sort of I wouldn't say unavailable, but more difficult to get, right? So maybe it's actually it's dim sum is dim sum, right? You can't
Yeah.
really change it that much.
I
But what
agree.
you put into the different delicacies can change. So maybe that's what it's about. I
Yeah.
don't know. I highly doubt the dim sum is shaped like a panda. That's what I'm saying.
I was gonna say,
Yeah,
I was gonna probably panda shaped dim sum. I don't know, but
it's possible.
How much do you like the traditional Chinese, like Shanghai dim sum?
To be-
Not the Cantonese dim sum, but
No,
in
I know what
Shanghai
you
we
mean.
call
I know
them
what you mean.
Shanghai
Yeah,
snacks.
I know what you
Yeah.
mean. I'm pretty down with Shanghainese food. I like it quite a bit. My mother-in-law is quite the beast in the kitchen, so I've gotten my fair share of Shanghai-style cuisine. And I mean, when I first moved here, it was all about, you know, the staples. So the xiangcai, chuancai, like all the spicy, the hot pots, the barbecues, all that kind of thing. But you live here long enough, you try a whole variety of different things.
Yeah.
And I really like Shanghainese food.
Okay.
I'm gonna jump in first, yeah?
Yeah. Well, we're back. Okay.
Back in the hot seat.
Yeah, very nice and warm. But it's a nice day out there. A little bit chilly, but very, very, very nice.
Yeah, I was out. I was out earlier this morning on the waterfront, filming a promo for the North Bund, and it was so cold this morning.
It was, yeah.
Oh, I mean, I knew it was coming. I work as a weatherman.
It was colder yesterday even, yeah. We had a rainstorm the day before yesterday.
Yeah, well,
It was-
before the cold front swung
Yeah,
through,
yeah.
it rained pretty hard, and the wind was very strong too. But this is the thing, like Shanghai cold is a wet cold, right?
Yeah.
It's not a dry cold. It's
Yeah,
a
in
wet
Beijing
cold.
it's like a dry cold.
It's a dry cold, yeah. Yeah, so it's a different experience.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, if people, many people, like especially those from European, because relatively their countries is of a smaller size, so they probably wouldn't feel much difference when they travel from one end of the country to the other. But when they come to China, they get to understand China is so big and diverse, and everywhere you go, the weather is different.
Sure.
You can breathe in the air and know where you are.
Yeah, to an extent, I would agree with that, and especially when you consider the densely populated East Coast, everything is sort of a north-south run, right? So, like the weather in Harbin is complete. You might as well be, on the other side of the world.
Yeah.
You go down south to Guangdong or whatever, and it's
To Sanya.
Sure, Sanya. Yeah.
side.
Yeah. I do like Hainan a lot. It's a pretty spot. I prefer the smaller sort of hotel areas outside of Sanya myself, like Qingshuiwan or Yalongwan, like these places. But Hainan is a beautiful, beautiful spot.
Yeah.
It's a tropical island. You can't really go wrong, right?
Right. What made you decide to stay in Shanghai? What about the city that attracted you?
Well, I mean, work was good. I was looking for a change. I was working in television in Vancouver, actually, before I moved here. I was working for a small video production company. We were producing a television series for the government channel in 2 languages, English and French, and I'd just been doing that for 5 years and needed a change. And there's always something new in Shanghai. I've lived here for 17 years, and every day is still kind of like a vacation, because there's always something new to discover. So it's, I don't know. I think I just fell in love with the city and the crowd here. People, I met some very, very good friends and great colleagues, and then I met my wife and got married and bought an apartment, and one thing leads to another. Right?
What would be some of the must-dos and places that people must go if you want to recommend to a new tourist?
I normally, it's hard to say because there's so much here now, like it's unbelievable. But
like if they just have a week in Shanghai.
oh yeah,
what are
well
places?
I try to, like I wouldn't take them to Disneyland. They can go to Disneyland in the U.S.
Probably not.
Exactly. They can go to Disneyland in any
anywhere
number of
else
countries,
in the
right?
world,
So
yeah.
you want to go somewhere that's uniquely,
Shanghai.
right? So obviously where we're going now is a place I take people when they come to visit. Yuyuan
The
is-
Chonghan Temple, the Jade Garden.
Well, also, yeah, exactly. The Yu Garden is, you have to see it. I mean, it's in all the postcards. The Bridge of 9 Corners, the Crooked Bridge, like that, that whole thing. The tea house, all of that. Like, you got to see that. Lujiazui is another one. I think you got a nice view of Lujiazui from the Peace Hotel,
the
right?
Peace Hotel,
because
yeah.
they're looking right at it. I like to take them into the Jinmao building, actually, of all the buildings there. It's not the tallest one.
Okay.
Right?
It's
It's
the
not-
second tallest one,
It's
I think.
the third.
The third tallest
Yeah,
one,
yeah,
okay.
yeah.
But on the top, right, to get a
No,
view?
no. You don't even need to go to the top, because
Okay.
what's so impressive about that building is there's a piano bar that doubles as a lobby for a hotel that's in that building.
Which
right?
floor is that?
I think it's 46, it might be 56. I
So
can't remember.
it's
It's been
tall
several years.
enough.
Well, yeah, you're up there pretty high, but that's not what's impressive. The building has like 99 floors. But from the 46th floor to the 99th floor, they've completely hollowed out the inside of the building.
Oh, so you look up.
You look, and it's like something out of a science fiction movie. It's just that
Wow.
the ceiling is like 250 meters up from where you're sitting. It's absolutely. And
You would feel like
you can see the-
you're in the bottom of a valley or something.
I suppose, and you can see, because they've rounded it off, and you can see all the hotel rooms going up and up and up and up and up the spiral all the way to the top of the building. So I always bring people there, especially if it's like a rainy day or something like that. It's a good activity. It's something to do. The TV tower is nice too. Offers some really cool views of the city.
The Oriental Pearl Tower.
Yeah, the Oriental
that's-
Pearl Tower. Once again, not the tallest. Definitely the most iconic, I would say. But they've done some renovation. They put in like a glass floor in some spots and things like that. But because it's right out there at the edge of that particular bend in the river, the Pearl Tower is right at the tip of that. So the views from all are just they're outstanding, absolutely incredible.
Wow, nice. What about shopping? Like shopping advices?
Well, I mean, if you're going to go shopping, you can go shopping anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
If people come from my side of the world all the way here, I mean, the last place I'm going to bring them is to a Gucci store, right? I mean, it's great that it's here. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to say that's a bad thing that it's here. I'm just saying, it's like, why would you travel halfway around the world unless Gucci released something that was only available in China? And they do that. A lot of these fashion houses, these big high-end fashion houses,
they do that.
Or sometimes it's just for the Asian market. Sometimes it's just for the China market. And it'll just be a slight difference. Just like one of the pieces of leather will be blue instead of white or something like that.
But you would think that they want to get something that's very much Shanghai.
This is what I'm saying.
Like a souvenir to remember by their trip.
Take them to the fabric market. Get a suit made. You know, get a qipao made or something, like custom made.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, no, but the trick to that though is it's like you have to bring them there on the first day, so they get measured.
Yes.
Right. You pay the deposit, then they can come back 3 days later and try it on and see if it fit, make the adjustments, whatever. And then, because you
a
leave
week
that,
later, you take it away.
You leave that to the last minute, then you're going to have to ship it back home, basically.
It is a great idea, because yesterday we did a live stream and we discovered a cultural heritage protection project that's promoting the qipao culture in China. So we get to try on what they call the Haipai qipao, which means the specifically Shanghai style qipao, which is quite different from the ones that they wore in Beijing, even back in the 1930s. And they just look great.
Sure.
I mean, I've never really tried on a real qipao before. The one that I had early on in the Peace Hotel, it was a qipao style dress, basically. I tried on a real qipao yesterday, and I just felt so different. Like it's something that I think every girl or every woman needs to have one piece of that, and for a special occasion.
Sure, like the qipao, a little black dress. You got to, all of the staples.
What about men? What about men? We have those Chinese style traditional men like suits and dresses. Have you got yours made?
I had one. I've put on too much weight since I had it made, so I can't really wear that anymore. But
you can have it tailored.
I'll certainly have another one done. But the trick is I was taught never ever to make a new suit to fit your new weight if you're getting bigger, because that just means you've given up, right? What you should do is exercise, eat healthy until you fit into your old clothes, and then make yourself some new clothes to fit that more fit frame instead of buying something that fits mine. So yeah, the idea being is that I will obviously get another Chinese style suit made at some point in the future, obviously.
Interesting, because you've been in the city for so long, so you obviously have so many advices to give for first-time travelers in Shanghai. But what about for those people, mostly businessmen, who have been in the city so many times and they wanted to find something unique and different and fun? Somewhere it's nice to hang out after maybe a busy day's business meeting. What are the places that you would suggest? Well, not necessarily those iconic tourism spots.
No. I mean, there are a number of smaller restaurants that are fantastic. Shanghai has a great pub and bar scene. I don't really know, but I'm sure the club scene is probably very lively as well. But I'm way too old to be going out to clubs.
Come on.
No, that's just sad. I'm sorry. You get to my age, it's just totally sad. To be in a nightclub at 2 o'clock in the morning at my age is that's unless you own the club, you should not be there.
You'll probably look like a nightmare the next morning.
This is for young people, Okay. But it's got a great bar scene, bar and restaurant scene, pub scene, that whole thing. There's quite a few spots in the city, like little hidey holes. Small little mom and pop barbecue operations. I'm not talking about massive chains or anything, right?
Or maybe like the nice jazz bar that we just checked out at Peace Hotel. Yeah. That's a nice place to go to.
Yeah, and that's not the only jazz bar in town either. Like there are probably 24 quality jazz bars in this city. And they're not all downtown either. Like some of them are farther out in the suburban areas and whatnot that have developed into sort of, they have their own little thing going on there. It's not as big as downtown, obviously, but you're not necessarily in the city.
I understand. Yeah.
You're maybe 45 minutes out of the city. You're still in Shanghai. You're just not in the city center. But there's an IMAX theater. There's basically anything you want. Coffee shops, restaurants. Everything. It's all right there.
So you can be living off the center of Shanghai and still have a lot of fun.
Correct. Yeah. No. It's very much. It wasn't this way when I first moved here, but now it's slightly more like where I grew up, where you don't ever have to leave the suburbs unless you want to, right? Like you can get anything you need in the suburbs. They've got the grocery stores, the shopping malls, the movie theaters. They've even got the office parks. So, so you've got people who actually live and work in the suburbs. They don't need to come into the city at all.
That is really how the city has developed into. It's all about like urban planning, making sure that people wouldn't have to flock into downtown every day for fun, for work, for everything. That you can stay, as you say, 30, 45 minutes off the city center
you could.
and still have everything that you need.
Yeah.
And even with the Huangpu River as well, I mean, the Bund area, of course, is the centerpiece, like the place that many first-time travelers will come to. But if you go along the Huangpu River, you know, there are many other places that's been developed into like an artistic area, like with many great museums. And then the Xuhui Binjiang area that people hang out with great restaurants and bars and walk and jog every morning. Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, well, again, Expo came here in 2010, and they took up a nice big chunk of South Bund during Expo. Most of it was on the Pudong side, but there was a little bit on the Puxi side. The Puxi side was more commercial and business oriented Expo pavilions and kiosks, and the Pudong side was the more sort of national pavilions, as well as the China Pavilion, obviously the iconic red.
And they kept some of those buildings.
Sure, yeah, no, the China Pavilion is now a museum, right? And a few of the other pavilions were kept just because they're very unique architecture, and at the time when they were built, they knew that they were going to stay, so they put the work into the foundations and whatnot, so that those buildings could stand the test of time. Whereas many of the other pavilions were makeshift; they didn't have foundations or anything like that. It was just sort of, you know, go down a meter into the ground and put in a pillar. But as a result of that, though, is the whole area gets sort of redeveloped. So now it was South Bund.
Yeah.
That was 10 years ago. Now North Bund is what's going off the hook, right? Putting in all kinds of green spaces, new office parks, new subway lines running underneath there, underground malls, all kinds of stuff is just going off in North Bund now. So that's the new spot for the downtown area.
And there are new spots for Pudong as well along the Yangtze River, like the Qiantan area.
Sure.
Yeah, so I still remember, because what is interesting is that you have stayed in Shanghai for the past 17 years.
Yep.
I was born and born. I was born in Shanghai, grew up here, but for the past 16, 17 years, I haven't really stayed in the city.
Okay,
So it's very interesting. So you get to see Shanghai for the past 2 decades. I get to learn about Shanghai for the past 2 decades from my friends, from my families.
Sure.
But what I remember about Shanghai is when I was younger, how the city was back then. So it's interesting that this time around, when we're doing this special, you know, CGTN cafe, like mobile cafe that takes around the city, we've been to those old buildings. That really helps me to recall my memory when I was little. Like yesterday, we went to the Taiyuan Villa, which is on the Taiyuan Road. It's part of the Beijing Hotel. You know about that great villa that used to be the Marshall Mansion. It has so much history in it. And I remember when I was little, my dad actually took me in there for a walk around their garden. It was open to the public back then. I think it's still open to the public, not all the time, but sometimes now. And the Peace Hotel, of course, it's been there forever. We've generation and generation of Shanghainese, old Shanghainese like me, new Shanghainers like you. We've been going by the building probably from time to time.
Sure.
And that is a witness of how time and change, how generations have really, you know, changed. Things are, I mean, it's like a combination of timelessness and modern.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really interesting. And where we're going now today, Chenghuang Temple, it's been there forever. And
yeah, it's been there a while.
Yeah, I remember I had a photo there, right there on the Nine Corner Bridge. And I wouldn't have imagined that years later, when I'm working, I would come back and do a live stream there.
Well, I mean, it's, I mean, you never know what the future has in store for you, and you can't really know as much as you want to plan for it, you know.
Yeah.
For me, I've watched the city develop. I've watched skyscraper after skyscraper go up. I've watched, you know, so many. When I moved here, there was 2 subway lines, and they weren't even complete.
You've seen all the changes.
Well, I've seen. I don't know if "seen" is the right word, because, you know, I'm not paying attention to absolutely everything that was going on, right? But all of a sudden, it's like, oh, a new building, oh, a new subway line, oh, and there are subways I've never even been on. like never, just because I don't have
too many lines.
Too many lines, exactly, exactly.
Some of the subways actually would take you to the suburbs of Shanghai or to
Yeah.
maybe another town in Zhejiang province, somewhere close.
There's
yeah.
one subway that actually goes into Jiangsu.
Wow.
Yeah, it crosses out of Jiading district into Jiangsu. One stop into Jiangsu, I believe. All right, you might have to transfer like before crossing into the next province, but there is one subway that goes way out west that way.
All right.
Yeah.
I think we're here, right?
Oh, yeah,
We
usually-
okay, let's get
Usually
off.
when the bus stops, it's time to get out.
Time for some snacks.
All right, let's do it. All
I'm
right.
so grateful for the weather.
No kidding.
So nice. I think we should walk that way.
Already?
Down the road. I think Lubolang is right there. I remember I've eaten in Lubolang once, I think. That was also when I was accompanying a friend from Canada,
All right.
from where you came from. And I took them right down the road to the Chenghuang Temple.
Yeah.
And I just kept walking. I didn't know how much of a culture shock it would have been for a foreigner, a first-time traveler to China. I just kept walking around, and with all the lanterns, if we look up, you can still see beautiful decorations on the rooftops, the dragons,
Sure.
the fish. And then it was even more back then, I believe. There were so many red lanterns everywhere hanging down. And then they just called me and said, "Lily, stop." And I said, "Why?" They said, "It's just too much. Give us a minute to inhale everything."
Yeah.
So they just stood there, took photos, took so many pictures, and then 5 minutes later, were like, "Okay, let's move on."
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's when you asked me in the van before about where you
Yeah.
take people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
A lot of folks talk about Xintiandi
Yeah.
in Shanghai, right? But depending on where the person comes from, you know, if a friend of mine from another part of China is visiting Shanghai, then of course I take them to Xintiandi because it's super cool. But when my parents came here, I did take them to Xintiandi, but it's like to them that's not.
That's not what they would expect.
It's not just that; it's that they can see that almost anywhere
Okay.
in the U.S. It's just
Okay.
it's a beautiful space. It's
Yep.
an outdoor mall, right?
Yeah, very relaxing.
But this is a lot more, local,
Chinese.
unique, exactly. And there's another spot in town called Tianzifang, which is Tianzifang is very much more of the sort of the Xintiandi kind of trendiness, but it's got this bohemian feel to it. This sort of raw artist culture going on, and they didn't refit it the way they did with Xintiandi. Like Xintiandi was completely renovated, made spotless. Everything. I mean, it's gorgeous in there. It's absolutely gorgeous, but it's all very much the same. Whereas Tianzifang still has its old flavor.
Yeah, this is also a place that has some old flavor. We can see it's
All
a
right.
China craft for design life.
Okay.
It's mainly they are trying to incorporate traditional Chinese craftsmanship into something that people can still use and appreciate in everyday life. And this
Okay.
is what I was talking to you about the finger painting. Let's check out how it's done. She doesn't use a brush.
No,
I
it's
guess
a little mini shanshui, but with her fingers.
Yeah, I guess kids would love to do that.
Sure, I mean, if you could teach a kid how to do that, yeah.
Yeah, probably kids can paint. Oh, so I think those are trees that she's trying to paint out of her fingernails. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, and this is some Bob Ross stuff going on right here.
Okay, so this is the paintings that you can buy with all different sizes, and very nice. And this is very innovative. That it's Chinese characters written in a Chinese traditional calligraphy style,
Yep.
but then it's painting incorporated in the middle of those
Yeah.
characters. Very, very nice.
It's like a sort of like a, not exactly a shadow box, but gives you that sort of feeling.
Yeah, it has so many different things. It's the Chinese calligraphy and the painting,
Yep.
and it's a very nice ornament. And we're going to leave, so she's going to probably need more time to finish the painting. And
For
here
sure.
we go. This is another one. 你好. 你好. Hi, hello. So he paints on the glass,
Yep.
I think, and on glass bottles.
Yep.
我可以看一下这个吗？
可以的。
Okay, may I?
你们这画儿你看它放大以后的，从底部看过去，中间。
Okay, so he says if we take a look at this little bottle, from the bottom you can know how small it is in size, which makes it very hard and actually requires a lot of skills to paint on such a small item. and then make it into something that you can hang on a bag, maybe
keychain or
yeah, it's just very cute, and you can probably ask him to paint a specific, like something specifically, something.
Yeah,
for
I
you,
have a
if there's
feeling he
something you
can
like.
he could write your name very, very small if he had to.
I think so. I think so. Very cute, and he's now working on the glass. We're going to leave him to his work.
Right.
And this is interesting. I don't know what that is. What is this? Is it wood?
Yeah, it looks like a sliver of bamboo or something.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Okay, so it's bamboo painting or a bamboo art. So she's cutting up bamboo.
Sort of like collage.
Okay,
You can see right here.
Here we
it's-
go.
yeah.
Here we go. So this is what she's doing. Very interesting. So she would take advantage of the different shades of the bamboo and put them into shapes and form pictures.
Yep, I think she's got some stained colors too. She's got some like I don't think bamboo grows pink,
no.
but I think she dries it out, and then uses it the same way as.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And these are little lucky plaques, things that you can hang out, and it says 逢考必过, which means every test you take, you get a pass. Sometimes people buy those for kids, especially
Right, so
kids
it's
who
like
are
a bookmark, basically.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
When you're
Okay,
reading a book, you
okay.
slap
This is
it
a
in-
bookmark.
yeah.
Great, yeah. So sometimes people will get that for kids too when they're going into their college entrance exams.
Right.
Their moms will put on qipao
Oh yeah.
to make sure.
Oh yeah, no, and they bake
Yeah.
like lucky cakes and do all kinds of stuff.
Okay.
Are we popping outside?
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think so.
I will
'cause,
follow your lead.
I'm actually following the cameraman.
Oh, okay. We'll follow his lead.
Yeah, but right in front of us is Lubolang, you can see.
Yeah.
It's a little, I think it's a pity that building is in decoration because we can't really get a full view of how beautiful the building is.
Right.
It's an old building, very beautiful outside. But then I heard it is in decoration because they are preparing like a grand lantern festival for the coming spring festival.
Okay.
Which is why they're not really renovating the building itself. But
Right.
they're just putting up
They're
the
just gonna-
construction sites and they're going to put a lot of lantern and
Yeah,
sign
no, they do
lanterns
that every
on
year
it.
here at Spring Festival. This
I
place.
know.
You grew up here. You know
I
what
grew up here, but I mean, for 17 years, I've only spent the Spring Festival at home with my family, so we haven't really
Okay,
come
right,
out here.
right,
but
right.
this year, maybe we would do that because
Sure,
I
why
know
not?
this is what's happening. I'm going to take
Why
my
not?
dad here.
Okay, cool.
And I smell something great. Wow, the bun.
Yeah.
The 小笼包, the bun.
Yep.
Wow, I'm getting a bit hungry. Looking forward to the CIIE snack set that we're going to be
That was
checking
interesting.
out. Yeah.
I love live television.
Yeah. That was a kid, right?
No, that was not a kid.
it was not a
That's what
kid.
made it funny.
Oh, okay, okay. I didn't really see him going. So we are.
Yeah,
at
here we are.
Lubolang,
There's the
but-
bridge.
Yeah, let's check out the bridge.
You wanna go to the bridge for a second?
Yeah,
All right.
Let's check out the bridge first, and then we go in because the entrance to the restaurant is right on our right side.
Yep.
And let's
And there's the
turn
tea house.
over and check out the bridge.
Yep, for sure.
Okay. Well, so this is the 9-corner bridge.
Yep.
It really has 9 corners, right? I haven't really checked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Yes.
There we go.
There's 9.
Okay.
And what's sometimes if you come here in the height of summer or on a weekend or whatnot, they actually have to put up sort of barricades to stop because people will just crowd onto the bridge and
to
they
take
have
photos.
to
yeah.
take photos. And a lot of folks, they're not even going like to the end. They go halfway out, turn around, and then come back. And that obviously causes bottlenecks. So
Okay.
they're pretty good about like limiting the number of people, the capacity
Yeah.
at one given time.
Okay.
Right, it's-
And that's the temple and Jade Garden right there that way. And we can actually see the rooftop of some modern buildings in
Yeah.
distance. Very interesting place to be. But right now I'm really hungry and really
Okay.
intrigued to go inside and
All right.
eat. And hi, 你好. 徐经理您好. Okay, so this is our
你好
guest.
你好你好
Guest from 吕波郎. 您先跟大家自我介绍一下吧。
好，大家好，我叫陆亚明，我是绿波廊酒楼的总经理。
Okay, 陆经理 General Manager Lu is going to take us around the
Awesome.
place. 对，您给我们介绍一下绿波廊的历史吧。
好的，其实你看我们绿波廊这块匾牌啊，那个绿波廊餐厅是田环老先生写的。田环老先生呢是孙中山的秘书。那么我们绿波廊其实开餐厅
And
以
for
来呢，我
Lubolang
们
Restaurant,
有
since its
42
founding,
年的历史。
it's
开餐厅
already
的时候
42
我们
years.
其中获得了国家
And
五钻酒驾、国家的
We've
科技
won a
饭
lot
店
of awards like the Supreme Restaurant at national level and Michelin restaurant, and also you can see we hit the chart of the necessary food you must take. And we have refurbished this restaurant in 2019. Green is the mainstream color.
It's the main color here. I'm wearing green inside. I'm wearing the right color.
I don't know if I've got green on me anywhere. Maybe my watch.
This is the first floor, a lot of tables. We have received almost 80 batches of heads of states and governments. You see, those are the names of those heads of states. President of Argentina.
Oh, this is a menu.
Very cool.
有绿波廊餐厅跟这张菜单是有渊源的。
Lubolang restaurant has a special bond with this menu. In 1973, this menu was planned. On the second year, one head of state came and tasted the food on the menu, and he had very good comments. And then there were two instructions to the local mayor. One, to open another restaurant to serve the modernization. And second, develop a school to teach the cooking skills of this restaurant. So with this menu, in 1979, Lubolang restaurant was established. That's Old Gentleman Zhu. In 1973, a Cambodian leader came to have dinner in Yuyuan. This is a movie director. Since 2019, we refurbished the Lubolang restaurant. The space is wider and bigger. People feel that the time-honored brand could be turned into such a modern place, a young and vibrant place to have dinner. And they are amazed. When we receive the distinguished VIP guests, we introduce to them our snacks and our dishes. Previously, many of those rare dishes were not open to the public on the menu, but now many dishes and special food can be seen on the menu. We hope that our visitors can taste all of those delicious food, especially the specialties. So now we are arriving at the third floor, the VIP rooms. 1986, it says. That's the year, yes. We have several VIP rooms named after the year. One is 1986, another is 1973, and another one is 1998. We chose the iconic years to name the rooms. For example, this one was the year to receive the Queen Elizabeth. It says 1986, and I made a lot of snacks for her. Another special year is 1973, like I introduced just now. In that same year, the Yu Garden received a head of state, and this year is another special year. In 1973, when we received the head of state from Sihanouk, it was my father cooking the meal. And this year, we receive another head of state from Sihanouk this year, and I made the snacks for him. And he was very happy with the food. This is a returned tour, and he had a lot of memories about his father. Another special year is 1998. We received President Clinton in that year. General Manager Lu prepared some very beautiful food here. Those are all specialties. Please take your seats.
I understood everything you said.
Okay, great.
Those are the commonplace snacks we offer to the customers. This is a set of snacks. We call it the ladies' set. When we receive the heads of states and their first ladies, we offer this set of snacks for the ladies specially. And those snacks have some special meanings. That one is a mini zongzi, the Chinese rice pudding. And if you count, there are 13 lines on this zongzi, representing the Chinese character, husband. So if you eat this zongzi, you have a good fortune in finding a good husband. And those snacks usually have good meanings. And also you see the green one. You can taste it. For the green snack, we hope that everything goes well with the friends coming from afar. And this is a peach-looking snack. Peach usually represents long life. For the 4 snacks, when we put them together, since there are 4, and in Chinese, 4 means everything goes fine. This is another set of snacks offered specially for CIIE. This one was served for the first CIIE on the main table. You could see this is in the shape of the lotus root. And lotus is commonplace in the venue of the CIIE. So now let's take a closer look at this lotus. Lotus leaf and lotus root. Lotus root has different segments and it grows taller and taller. We hope that our CIIE could come up to higher levels every year. For this goldfish, in the traditional Chinese New Year, we believe in leaving something for the next year, so every year would be only better compared to the previous year. And goldfish represents leaving something behind because of the Chinese pronunciation of yu. And also, we can make 3 different flavors for the 3 segments of the lotus root. So take a small bite first. Don't just swallow it all in, because there are 3 different flavors.
It has like 3 parts, like wrapped 3 times, and each part of it actually has a different taste.
Flavor.
Yeah,
and each layer has a different flavor.
So he was just saying, just don't eat it all in one bite. Make sure you taste it. Take your time to taste it. 那这个9宫格是什么
9宫格呢，也是我们绿波廊，就是这几年啊，就是
What about those 9 snacks put in the sudoku? It's a typical combination of snacks. Many customers that frequent our place don't need 9 same things. Because they want to be frugal in the food, they want to finish them all. And also, now there is a very popular thing about blind boxes for the youngsters. People think that the blind boxes are more mysterious, so I will put a lot of different ingredients into the 9 different snacks. Then they would become more mysterious. And also they look nice. Also, I hope that our customers can finish them all because of the diversity. One person can taste several different flavors. For the sudoku, if it is 2 to 3 girls coming here, they could share the 9 different flavors. It's very beautiful. And what about the 3 in the middle? It's familiar to me as a local here in Shanghai. I invented this snack in 1992. It's a kind of osmanthus jelly. In the 1980s, I got this baton from my father. And when I was young, I had a very good memory about the childhood. In the traditional Chinese New Year in Changzhou, we eat such jelly cakes. And usually, for the rice cake, it's very fresh and chewy on the same day when it's made. But on the second day, they grew harder. If you boil them, they're distorted in shapes. So how to keep them fresh? There used to be a very famous master in making cakes in Shanghai called Rongfa, and there was a famous place called Canglangting. I learned from him for a very long time. In my memory, I took those takeaways from my memories when I was young, eating the rice cakes, and added them with the experience I learned from him. And I make this osmanthus jelly cake. It's the best of all. Why? We have competed in some national competitions before, and for this osmanthus jelly, even though it's not very famous, to me, it's awesome. It has very good taste, and it's popular among the majority of people. What's the special thing about it? As you see, it doesn't fall. It can stick to the plates, but not to your teeth. That's interesting. You could try them. It doesn't fall. That is the bun. Specialty in Shanghai. The steamed buns. Now let's take a closer look. It's a very popular thing in Shanghai. There are some crab meat wrappings in it. So Mr. Lu introduced a lot of history about the restaurant and the beautiful snacks and the blind box of 9 different flavors of snacks. Those are all to cater to the young people. The young people pursue fresh things, so we have to keep pace with the times. You must have received a lot of young customers right now. For Lubolang, before the refurbishment, it was usually the parents taking the kids here. They want to take the kids to experience the old flavors of their generation. And when the parents got married, they may eat here, and when their child comes to the 1 year old, they may celebrate the birthday here. Now with the refurbishment, many youngsters take their parents here or grandparents here. The youngsters say that I want to introduce this brand new restaurant that you may find familiar. So for time-honored brands, we have transformed people's traditional concept about us, and we are elevating the quality of food. There are a lot of innovation here. With my chefs and our teams in the kitchen, I've been telling them a lot. I say that the products, the food you make must be able to fulfill people's appetites. But first of all, you need to intrigue them. So take photos of the food. So you have to make their cell phones full first. And secondly, intrigue them to send some moments on their WeChat. So they will bring friends here to be full. So after those, you have actually promoted your products. They will have a good reputation.
This is very interesting story. I'm sure you've got most part of this. This is an old brand trying to be innovative and trying to be, still attracted to young customers today.
And you say most of the kids that know about this place is because their parents brought them here, and then the kids grow up, and then they bring their parents here.
Yeah. And he says he's now making sure that every product that they serve on the table can be a good feed for people's cameras.
Right, yeah.
For their mobile phone, for social media platforms and timelines, and then for their mouth, and so it's all interesting. I mean, I'm gonna ask Mr. Lu to recommend what would be the first thing that we could try.
Okay.
你觉得我们第一口应该尝的是什么？我们就可以开始吃了。我们等不及。
We can't wait to taste your food. Usually the first bite should be salty ones. So the steamed buns first.
小笼包呢吃的时候呢，其实我们就轻轻夹，慢慢提，开口窗。
Take a small bite and also taking some soup from the bun. Could you please show us? Gently pick it up and put it here, gently as well. And then a very small bite to take in the soup.
对，有汤，你吸一口，吸一口汤，把这汤吃掉，然后一大口。
And then swallow it all.
So this is the right way to eat the buns. Yeah, I'm sure you know.
I learned how to make xiaolongbao in
Really?
Jiading, Nanxiang area.
Seriously, you can make those?
No, they showed me how to do it. I did not do the greatest job, but I did manage to make one tier of xiaolongbao.
Okay.
When I went out there.
Okay. So I was hoping that you can try this because it has 3 different flavors.
This one right here.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's
sure.
3 and you taste it and tell us what flavor is it.
一段一段吃。
对，让它一段一段吃，来告诉我们都是什么。Okay.
All right. Okay.
So you can break one piece and tell us what it is. 这个陆景你肯定知道里面是什么的。
Mr. Lu knows the answer,
看他能不能
of
吃出
course.
来。
So it's a test
其
for
实
you.
第一次吃能吃出来一到两种已经不错了。
For your first time at it, it's good enough to taste 2 flavors.
It tastes kind of like a meat pie, but it's sweet at
It's
the same
sweet?
time. Yeah, a little bit sweet.
他觉得是，反正肯定是甜的，但是又
一点甜。
一点甜，但是他又觉得有点肉的味道在里面。
I don't know why.
哦
I'm
那
tasting a little
个
bit.
他可能吃的是那个我们枣香蛋黄的。
蛋黄，
有蛋黄
有可能是蛋黄。
I think it's possibly
其实我们
yolk,
里面3个线性的，一个是陈皮
the
的，
egg.
一个是椒盐
And
那个果仁的。
第二个，看它是
For the other 2s, taste against even.
That looks like, I mean, just from a facial expression, you're more certain about this one.
This one tastes like my grandmother's sugar pie.
他说很像他奶奶小时候会做的一种甜品的味道，但是他可能还是没有太猜出来具体是什么。中间那节应该是什么？
So what's it supposed to be?
椒盐腰果的。
椒盐腰果。哦。
I think
So
it's
it's
the
got nuts
salty
in it.
cashew nut.
Did you taste nuts?
A little bit, I suppose, a little nutty aftertaste, yeah.
Okay.
But again, like it's just that reminiscent flavor of my mother's sugar pie.
All
just-
right.
My grandmother's sugar pie just
Should
kicked
be
in.
like cashew nuts. And the last part. 他每次好像都很那个不愿意犹豫。It's good, right?
It's all delicious.
Okay.
I don't even know what to call that. No idea.
Does it taste, I don't know, like orange to you?
It had a crunchy texture to it. Right?
Maybe that's the cashew nuts part.
It could have been, yeah.
Yeah.
It had a little bit of a crunchy, kind of like coconut chips.
Okay.
The feel, not the taste. It didn't
Okay.
taste like coconut. But it really, absolutely smashing. All 3 of them were delicious.
Okay.
And I don't have the most, what's the word I'm looking for? The most educated or distinguished palate of most people, right? My experience with high-end cuisine like this is very, very limited. But yeah, I tell you, I could eat 20 of those like very easily. It was absolutely delicious. I'm not sure what that last one was. though.
Okay.
I can't tell you.
他说非常好吃，但他就是问问您具体是什么？您刚刚说的一种是有腰果的，一种是
So
陈
according
皮
to
的，是吧？
you, there are the orange peel flavor and the cashew nut.
果仁陈皮的。
陈皮。
对，
陈皮的
第二季是
So
orange peel,
the
dry
first
orange
one
peel.
is orange peel, the second one is the cashew nut,
第三季是那
and
个
the third
枣香蛋
one
黄的。
is the egg.
An egg yolk, yeah.
Okay, great. So.
And you missed out. You should have eaten that. That was delicious.
No worry. I think I'm going to go for the sticky rice cake, the one that sticks on the plate, to make sure to see if it really can stick my teeth together. So I'm going to save that for my last part, because if it does, I wouldn't have to talk anymore.
Right.
So we're going to probably close out this live stream. And thank you so much, Stephen, for being
my pleasure.
with us.
Super happy. Anytime you come back to Shanghai, let me know.
Great. So we did some shopping together, although we didn't have the time to really buy anything, but we did get to see on a weekday. So many people are right there at the CIIE Bazaar. That's quite amazing, right?
Yeah, that place was jammed.
Yeah, that place definitely is jammed. And we check out so many great products at the market. And then right at Lubolang, this restaurant brings me actually so much memories, so many memories. When I was little, I did come here with my parents. They loved the place. And then now I'm looking at all those things, especially those very colorful ones that I have never seen before, and learning that an old brand trying to become creative and to attract young customers of the day is great. And then we got to taste some of the great, as you say, high-end.
This is very high-end stuff.
This is high-end, but this is actually affordable to ordinary people, so people can come here easily for an afternoon snack and everything. So we're gonna leave our audience here. We're gonna dig in and everything, and we will bring you more live stream on CGTN in the coming days, this afternoon actually, and also in the coming days as the CIIE still goes on here in Shanghai, bring you all about the fun and the best places to go, the best food to eat in Shanghai. We hope you have fun with us and stay tuned with us. All right, guys, thank you. 谢谢陆老师，谢谢，拜拜，我们可以吃了，
可以吃。
Okay.